Welcome to GTN, Global Truth Network. I'm Ethan Walker, and here is your extended global briefing with everything you need to know right now. We begin with our top story out of Washington. President Donald Trump has confirmed he will speak directly with Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te, a move that breaks nearly 5 decades of American diplomatic tradition. U.S. and Taiwanese leaders have not spoken directly since 1979, when Washington severed formal ties with Taipei in order to establish diplomatic relations with Beijing. Trump addressed reporters on Wednesday and kept it simple. "I'll speak to him, I speak to everybody, we'll work on that, the Taiwan problem." Those words sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles across Asia and beyond. China's foreign ministry responded almost immediately, stating firmly that it opposes any official exchanges between the United States and Taiwan and urged Washington to stop sending what it called wrong signals to separatist forces on the island. This conversation comes on the heels of Trump's 2-day summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing, a meeting Trump described as productive, calling his relationship with Xi amazing. But just hours after leaving Beijing, Trump issued one of the strongest warnings any U.S. president has made to Taiwan, telling Fox News he did not want Taiwan to pursue formal independence. "I want them to cool down. I want China to cool down," he said. Xi had made clear during the summit that Taiwan was the single most important issue in the U.S.-China relationship, and that mishandling it could lead to direct conflict between the two superpowers. At the center of all this is a proposed $14 billion arms package to Taiwan, reportedly including anti-drone equipment and advanced air defense missile systems. Trump has not yet approved the sale, telling reporters he would make a determination in the near future. He even told Fox News the arms deal was a very good negotiating chip, a statement that alarmed many in Taipei. Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te responded by saying the island is a sovereign, independent, democratic country and that peace in the Taiwan Strait will not be sacrificed or traded away. Taiwan's foreign ministry added that Lai would be happy to discuss maintaining the stable status quo in the strait. The question now is whether Trump's upcoming call with Lai will bring clarity or only deepen the tension between Washington, Taipei, and Beijing. It is worth understanding why this matters so deeply. Most people in Taiwan see themselves as politically distinct from China and support maintaining the current status quo, neither formally declaring independence nor unifying with Beijing. Taiwan's government has long held that since it already considers itself an independent country, there is no need to make a formal declaration. But Beijing sees things very differently. China's anti-secession law allows it to use military force if it believes peaceful reunification is no longer possible. A formal declaration of independence by Taiwan would almost certainly trigger that response. The United States, bound by the Taiwan Relations Act, is legally required to provide Taiwan with the means to defend itself, making any conflict over Taiwan a direct threat to American forces as well. Now turning to another major story centered on President Trump. The U.S. Department of Justice this week settled a lawsuit that Trump filed against the IRS in January, and buried inside that settlement is a document that has sent shockwaves through the legal and political world. A 1-page addendum permanently bars the IRS from auditing, examining, or pursuing any tax-related action against Trump, his family members, and all of their businesses and subsidiaries for every tax filing made before May 19th of this year. The addendum uses striking language, stating that the United States is forever barred and precluded from a long list of standard IRS enforcement actions. Legal experts and Democratic lawmakers are calling it an unprecedented and unconstitutional move.
The Tax Law Center's policy director called it a breathtaking abuse of the tax and legal system. Senate Finance Committee Democrat Ron Wyden said it is a clear violation of the law that prohibits executive branch officials from interfering with IRS audits. The Justice Department, however, is defending the addendum as a customary legal waiver used to fully close lawsuits. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche signed the document. As part of the broader settlement, the government agreed to create a $1.8 billion fund, which critics across party lines are already labeling a slush fund, to compensate people who claim the government wrongly investigated them. 2 Capitol Police officers have already filed a lawsuit arguing the fund is unconstitutional and could be used to compensate rioters who attacked the Capitol on January 6th. In international news tonight, the United States has taken the extraordinary step of charging former Cuban leader Raúl Castro with conspiracy to murder American nationals. The charges stem from the 1996 shooting down of 2 civilian aircraft operated by the Cuban-American group Brothers to the Rescue. 4 people were killed in that attack, including 3 U.S. citizens. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche made the announcement at Miami's Freedom Tower, surrounded by members of the Cuban exile community. He stated plainly, the United States does not forget its citizens. Castro, now 95 years old, was head of Cuba's armed forces at the time of the attack. While he is not expected to appear in a U.S. court voluntarily, officials have made clear that all options remain on the table. Cuba's current president, Miguel Díaz-Canel, called the charges a political maneuver with no legal foundation. Analysts say the indictment is part of a broader Trump administration strategy to increase pressure on Cuba's communist government, similar to the approach used against Venezuela's Maduro earlier this year. Turning now to a story generating global outrage. International condemnation is pouring in over Israel's treatment of activists who were aboard the Gaza-bound aid flotilla intercepted by Israeli naval forces earlier this week. More than 50 boats carrying 430 people from over 40 countries set sail from Turkey last Thursday, carrying food, baby formula, and medical supplies for Gaza. Israeli commandos intercepted the fleet in international waters west of Cyprus. But what followed the interception sparked widespread anger. Far-right Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir posted a video of himself taunting activists who were kneeling on the ground with their hands tied behind their backs. He waved an Israeli flag above them and told them in Hebrew, "Welcome to Israel, we are the masters." The video drew immediate condemnation from the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Canada, Italy, Australia, and several other nations. Even Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rebuked his own minister, saying the behavior was not in line with Israel's values. A legal rights group said dozens of activists suffered suspected broken ribs, taser injuries, and reports of sexual humiliation and degradation. Netanyahu has since instructed authorities to deport the activists as quickly as possible. And we close tonight with an urgent global health warning. The World Health Organization says the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo is spreading significantly faster than originally understood. As of this week, more than 500 cases are suspected, and at least 131 people have died. Modeling from London's MRC Centre for Global Infectious Disease Analysis suggests actual case numbers could already exceed 1,000, pointing to substantial underdetection on the ground. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus declared the outbreak an international emergency last week, saying he was deeply concerned about its scale and speed. The epicenter is the Ituri province, a highly unstable region where large population movement makes containment extremely difficult. The outbreak has already spread to South Kivu province and to Goma, a city of 850,000 people. There is currently no approved vaccine for this particular strain of Ebola. Neighboring Rwanda has closed its border with Congo. Several African nations are tightening border screenings. An American citizen believed to be a missionary doctor is being evacuated to Germany for treatment, while the CDC is working to evacuate at least 6 other exposed Americans. That is your full global briefing for tonight. Stay alert, stay informed, and stay with the network that brings you the truth. I'm Ethan Walker.